To do this, you're going to shift your weight to one side and then the other. As you do this exercise, you want to make sure that the side you're shifting your weight to becomes long through here and short on the other side. So what we don't want to see is this. We want to see shifting your weight onto the side and having a long trunk and a short trunk over here. Repeat this exercise 20 to 30 times.
This exercise is called dynamic weight shifting. Doesn't look like you're doing much, but actually this is very good for your inner core. It's good for your balance. What you want to do is you have to be sitting upright in a chair. And you can, later on, you can put the chair or you can put some sort of an unstable surface underneath you, like a piece of foam, or way off in the future, maybe one of those big balls that they take to the gym. But for now, just stay in the chair. You're going to shift your weight from one side, then to the other. And the trick of this is you want to make sure that the side you're shifting your weight to becomes long and short on the other side.
Next exercise is seated ankle pumps. Blocks on the floor are only so you can see my feet. They tend to disappear into the floor without them. So you're sitting nice and tall. Think about your upper body posture. Feet are hip width apart if you're unsure. Feet together, toes out, heels out. Feet should be pointing forward, gap between the knees. Knees directly above the ankles. And all we're going to do is you breathe out. You're going to lift the feet, the toes up, keeping the heels on the floor. And you're going to return on the in-breath. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Just lifting them as high as you comfortably can. Trying to get them a little bit higher if you can. And be aware of your upper body posture. So head is looking forward, so you should be looking directly at me. You can hold the chair for support, but really be aware that your shoulders are relaxed, that your knees aren't dropping in. Really good, this one. If you find that you're tripping over things and shuffling your feet, it's going to help strengthen those muscles in the shins. Quite intense actually for something that looks so simple. Breathing out as you lift up, in as you come down. Keep that breath going. So breathing out through the mouth, in through the nose. And to keep that breath nice and deep into the rib cage. You're not breathing shallowly. If you put your hands on your shoulders, they shouldn't move as you breathe. So think of taking that breath into the back of the rib cage. 2 more if you can, but as always, if you've had enough now, stop. You can always come back and do this again later or another day. Well done. We'll give it a little bit of a shake out.
We're going to start by doing some mini squats just to get our legs getting ready to work. So we're going to take and squat down a little and back up. Now the only thing that you're going to need for this workout is something solid to hang on to, or another person with you for safety, as we're going to be doing all of these exercises standing up. These exercises are going to be challenging for your balance, so I want to make sure that you're taking the appropriate safety precautions. So, as we're warming up, why weight shifting? Well, shifting weight from one leg to the other is an important skill to get down before walking. Weight shifting is all about improving balance, leg strength, and proprioception, or our ability to tell where our body is in space. We're going to do one more of those mini squats. Come all the way back up. Let's get into our first exercise, which is shifting our weight from one side to the other. Side to side weight shifting. This is a pretty basic one to start off with, although it might not feel basic depending on where you're starting out. and that's okay. I say it in all my videos, but everyone is starting somewhere, and there's no shame in that game. So you're gently just gonna be moving from one side to the other, feeling the weight shift. Really, you feel that in your hips and going all the way down. Now you'll notice I have some green tape here, and this is just marking the affected side. So for some of these, we're just gonna be doing like this for both sets, and some we will switch around. Let's go ahead and move on to our next exercise, which is front to back, back to front weight shifting. So for this one, let's go ahead and move affected foot forward as best you can. And what we're gonna be doing is shifting weight to the front, putting weight on that front leg, affected leg, and then bringing weight back onto the back, unaffected leg. Good job. So we're just shifting weight to the back and then to the front. Let's keep going. One more shift to the front, and then we'll be in the next exercise. Very nice. Okay, now we are going into a clock shift, and I love this one. We're gonna pretend that you're standing in the middle of the clock. I want you to move your affected leg out to the front, out to the side, straight out at the side, back, and then directly behind you. So it's like we're thinking, 12 o'clock, moving to 2 o'clock, around 3, 4 or 5, and then 6 o'clock. Good. Go ahead and bring your leg back to the middle. Now we're going into opposite weight shifts. So for this one, what I mean by opposite is I want you to take one arm and you're gonna reach across your body, shifting your weight onto the other side. So if your right if your right arm is reaching, you're shifting weight onto your left leg. If your left arm is reaching, you're shifting weight onto your right leg. Now you can alternate this depending on how comfortable you are with your balance, or if you just need to do one way at a time so that you can continue to hang on to something, that's fine too. Lots of ways to modify this exercise. Very nice. Let's move on to our last exercise in this set, one-legged stands. Now before you start going crazy with this one, don't worry. I don't necessarily mean that you have to pick one leg up. Although if you're there, go for it. What I'd like to do for this one though is we're gonna be putting weight through the affected side. If you're able to pick your leg completely all the way up, I just want you to stand there and hold it. If you're not able to pick that leg up and maintain your balance, have your toe or the ball of your foot on the other leg you're lifting just resting on the ground and hold there. So whatever feels more comfortable, whatever feels safer to you. You're doing great. Let's hold for 2 more seconds. 2 and 1. Wonderful job. This is a little bit of a rest break, about 15 more seconds before we go through that all again. Now you may be wondering if you wear an AFO, whether or not you should be wearing it during this exercise routine. And that answer kind of varies. If you are getting some movement back and you're also trying to work on those dorsiflexors, you may not want to wear it through this exercise routine. However, if safety is an issue and you need to have it on to safely lift up your affected side, then go ahead and wear it. Let's go back into our first exercise. We're gently going to be shifting our weight side to side. Wonderful job. I don't really have any modification for this one. This is sort of one of those basic exercises, unless you need to be doing this in sitting. If you're doing this in sitting, this is where you might be leaning forward as you're sitting down and trying to shift weight from one side to the other. Otherwise, we're staying in standing and just feeling the shift of one hip over the entire leg, other hip over the entire leg. Great job. So now we're into our second exercise, which is front to back and back to front weight shifting. Now this time we're gonna move unaffected foot forward and we're gonna shift weight forward and back. It's important not to just do one side, like just have the affected foot forward and just only do it that way. We're challenging different muscles this way. We're challenging different movements this way. And when we walk, we don't just walk with one foot forward. That's not how it works. We have to walk both feet forward. So that's why we practice both ways, shifting weight forward and back. Let's do one more. And fantastic. Now we're going back into our clock shift with this one. I'm going to take a scoot out to the side here. For this one, affected side is going to be stabilizing. So you're moving your unaffected foot out to about 12 o'clock, to the middle, to the side, back middle, and all the way back. Let's go ahead and bring it forward in the same way. So just like with our last one, now affected side becomes our stabilizing side. We're working different muscles. We're working more stabilizers here as it's trying to keep us nice and upright, while every time that we lift this foot, we're also weight shifting as well. Bring those feet back to center. Wonderful job. Now we're going into opposite shifts. So this time, if you were just reaching to one side, go to the other side. So again, that means if left arm is trying to reach, weight shifting is coming over the right leg. If you're reaching with your right hand, weight shift is coming over the left leg. So if you're alternating, we're just going back and forth. But if safety is an issue, if balance is an issue, we're holding on and we're just reaching with one hand. All right, everyone, guess what? We've made it to our last exercise, one-legged stands. So here's what we're gonna do. Now this time, we are standing on right leg, maybe trying to lift up that affected leg, right? If that's not an option for you, just have your toe, ball of your foot resting on the ground, but with most of your weight over onto your unaffected leg. And holding there, just try to keep it going. Now if you need to take a little break, go over onto your toe, onto the ball of your foot, and shift back over onto that unaffected side. Let's do one more of those. Come back over, rest and get into a nice, stable position.
Lifting your knees to the back of the chair and tapping. If you feel that that's too challenging, just lift your knees at a less height. You will want to complete 10 reps on each side before you try to take a break.
So I want you to have a chair, solid chair by your side. I'm going to work the right leg here. And standing leg is slightly bent. Engage your core in, think tall, and let out and in. Okay, so no leaning, just straight up and down. Engage your core. All right, so I'd like you to aim for 10 of these on each side. So let's get started. Here's my mountain. Left leg slightly bent. Pull your navel in. Okay, and lift from the hip. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and rest. Okay, have to do the other side. All right, hip. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and rest.